6 goals, what a game. And heading into the Lions Den today is this man.
This is Lions Den with M&S Food.
Boom, boom. Well, I'm gassed. I've got the main man, number 22, the youngest in charge, Jude Bellingham, bro. How are you?
Good, man. I'm very happy after yesterday. But kind of just coming down, really, from the high now and focusing on the next game. An important one to help us get through the group. So, yeah, just kind of trying to keep my feet on the ground and go for the next one.
Keep your feet on the ground. That's certainly not what you were doing. Throws up for the head. It was special, but I was out my seat. Now, you know what it's like, OK? On this show, we like to get the fans involved, Jude. You know, it's all about Lions Den and taking you guys home and bringing the fans at home here to Qatar. So we want to get you involved and bring in as many comments, as many photos of where you're watching the game. We want to do it all. So, guys, make sure you get it involved. And we don't have that long. We don't have that long. So we need as many as possible right now, OK? So get them in. Make sure they are in. Jude, special. I want to jump straight into football. How do you come down after a game like that and a start like that? Surely the adrenaline's pumping till late in the night.
Yeah, it is difficult to sleep, to be fair. You know, I was up all night last night trying to kind of reply to messages and speak to people about how the game was and stuff. So, yeah, it's a really nice day for us, to be fair. But, you know, there is a level of, professionalism when it comes into being ready the next day, recovering and just making sure that we're good to go again on Friday because, in the World Cup, you don't get given a trophy for winning one game. You need to maintain over the course of, 7 games. So, yeah, it's important that in our heads we're just ready to go again, which we are. I
was going to say your phone must have been blowing up because, you dream as a kid of going to a World Cup and then of a performance like that, the messages must have been flooding in from everywhere. You got people from back in the day you ain't spoken to in 5 years like, Jude, you know what? I always said you'd be a good baller.
Yeah, it's nice, though, because there's also people that, played a big part along the way. My coaches at Birmingham in the academy, some staff at Dortmund, those kind of things that I don't see regularly anymore. It's nice to kind of, share that moment with them, if you like, because, there's a lot of people that leading up to this part of my journey have played a massive role and, without them I wouldn't be here and, I'm happy in admitting that and I like to give them their credit as well and it's important that people see the people behind the scenes almost and, so just good to share the moment with all the people that made it happen.
You and Bukayo, sensational performances. I think the whole team was incredible, but stand-up performances. First goal in the first game of your first World Cup. Describe it to me.
Yeah, I can't stop smiling. Just really happy. I got into good areas all game. I think attacking-wise, defensively as well, I thought I'd done well. It's just all about kind of following the ball, following the player, really. Harry played a really good pass into Mace. Mace turned, and as soon as it went wide, I thought, there's a gap there and I can get myself in. And, when you've got so much quality on the side, it's all about making the box in the middle. Harry Kane's always going to be in the box, so it's kind of about moving off of him. And I seen the kind of shape that Luke put on the ball. I thought if I get into that gap, then all I've got to do is get a contact on it. And it was still quite a tough header, probably one that I've never done before.
Don't be shy with it. It was unbelievable.
It was a decent header,
over the keeper as well.
It felt like it took about 5 minutes to go in the net, to be honest. But as soon as it landed and I seen it kind of ripple, I was off. So, yeah, I don't really remember too much of that bit, to be honest. Just the adrenaline, the energy was pumping through me, really.
Well, do you know what? We've actually got a couple of clips of the goal just to refresh the memory.
Refresh the memory.
Listen, I don't mind looking at it again.
I've already seen it 100 times, to be honest. So,
here we go. So
101.
You rose like a salmon because I know. Look at this straight off the. You almost got whiplash putting that in the back of the net.
To be fair, it was a lot of neck movement, man. But it come off the right part of my head and stuff, and yeah, I think he kind of was difficult for the goalie because the defender was kind of in his eye line really, and I think as soon as it left my head, I felt it had a good chance, and it kind of just looped into the just below the crossbar where it's difficult for keepers. So I think I was really happy with how that went in.
Is it one of those things that when the ball hits the back of the net, you're kind of like, did I just do that?
Yeah. To be fair, that's I've scored quite a few goals this season, and in some pretty nice games as well, and I think that tops it though. Anything that I've ever scored, just because it's like like you said, that feeling of have I kind of just done that, or is this going to get disallowed?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm always thinking there's something...
You pray there's no whistle, none of
but
this.
I'm always thinking there's something negative going to happen, so when it was kind of... I was running, I was with Mace, I was still thinking, like, this can't be real, man, like, this can't be real, and it went in, and, you just lose yourself for that time, really. You just want to enjoy the moment.
Talking of losing yourself, we've got to take it back to the scenes at Box Park, because you guys don't get to see this, but this was absolutely special. We've come to know that Box Park is the home of scenes, so I want to take a little look at how your goal made them feel, because it was special.
Limbs, innit?
Absolute limbs. Like, there's so much.
It would have been like, what, 1 o'clock there as well?
Yeah, middle of the day, on a Monday. I think
it.
all of them supposed to be at work at that point, but they're thinking, do you know what? If I'm not at work, I'm absolutely making the most of it.
Yeah. Don't go into work while we're playing. But this is what you love seeing, really. This is why you play, especially, you know, because we're so far away from home. It's nice to see stuff like this, to know that you still got that support. Obviously, at the Euros, we was in England, so we felt it like firsthand. But, you know, seeing stuff like this, you know, to know that, you know, I kind of helped bring this much happiness to this many people back home, it does feel really special. If
you look right down at the bottom of that there, you might see the top of the geezer with his fists in the air. That's Ollie Murs.
Oh, really?
Who was sat there. He was actually, as you can see, he was absolutely buzzing. He was on lines then on the match day show, right? And he was like, listen, trust me, we're going to win 5-0. By the end, he was like, nah, mate, you know, I'm going to go back to 2-0. So I think he was very happy that his original 5 goals. Yeah, he looks. We scored more than 5, so it was he was absolutely buzzing. You know Ollie Murs, because I think because you're quite young, he's probably...
Yeah, the singer, yeah. I know Ollie Murs.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to catch you
You're
up,
trying to mug him off now. Yeah, I know Ollie Murs, of course.
Different generation, bro. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
I'm not that young.
You and Bukayo actually made history as well. I want to make sure I get this correct, because you actually, the first time England have had 2 players aged 21 or under scoring a World Cup match. I mean, it's a mad stat. And I feel like you're... Look at the boy there as well. Can you not be happy when you see a face like that?
Man. Even Bukayo's face, man, makes me happy. He's just such a smiley guy, and like seeing him happy, like, makes everyone happy, doesn't it? I think, he's just a sick guy, man. But to share a record like that with him is really special, to be honest. You know, he's such a top player, such a top guy. So to share that with him is class, and you know, hopefully we can do it again. We've got a really good mix of experience and youth, and I think the experienced players help me and Bukayo and Phil and whoever else feel really comfortable, and that's where we play our best football.
No doubt. Now, you're a bit of a record breaker. It's like you're making a habit of this, right? Okay, so you're breaking records and stats throughout your career. First call up to England seniors, 17, outrageous. On your debut at Birmingham City, you were the youngest ever first-team player. You became Dortmund's youngest ever goal scorer when you made your debut. Like, as a kid, did you... You're like almost like a kid when you're breaking these records, but did you ever dream? Did you have time to dream like this is possible?
Yeah, to be fair, I always dreamed that I'd be here. I never thought it would be this early, in all honesty. You know, it's maybe like 3 years since my professional debut, you know, and you know, I've been given the opportunity to do things that a lot of people haven't done in full careers, which makes me so grateful, you know, because there's an element of quality and technique and all that stuff, but there's also like luck, trust, and to get that trust from managers and players and to feel so comfortable at this level, it does make me really happy. And you know, it's not something that I kind of expected so fast, but I always thought that hopefully I'd get it.
No doubt. No, we spoke a little bit about the squad. I want to talk about the depth of the squad, because I think there was a point in the game when we're going to make a quadruple substitution with like maybe the most attacking substitution I've ever seen.
It was mad.
It was Grealish, Foden, Rashford, and Wilson were about to come on all at once. And Dyer came on just at the start of that. So how good is it to have that much depth? And does it make you believe, like, do you know what? Like we've got it, so many options, and we've got enough tools in the toolbox of England to go and do something really special with?
Yeah, definitely. It's crazy the depth that we've got. You know, you look at the starting four was Mace, Raz, Bukayo and Harry Kane, and then you swap that with Wilson, Rashford, Foden and Grealish. Like, that's like ultimate team, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like, to have names like that and quality like that come off from the bench, you know, all players that could easily start in our team and in other teams, if we're being honest. So, you know, for them to come on and, you know, they didn't just come on and coast, you know, they made sure that they picked up from where the other lads left off, and, you know, Jack scored, Cal set up Jack, Rashi scored.
3 touches.
Phil was like Phil always is. So, yeah, it's really nice when you got that kind of quality in front of you, because it makes my life a lot easier as well.
Yeah. True, yeah, isn't it? They have to all rely on you to score the goals, break up the play in midfield.
I like doing all of it, of course, but you know, you get a good satisfaction out of putting your attacking players in good positions as well. That's part of the job. So, you know, when you just give them that freedom to do what they want, they're going to do crazy things, and it's just fun to sometimes just sit back when I don't want to run into the box and just watch them do it. It's really satisfying.
No doubt. Now, step one was to get off the mark with a win. Done that. Now looking ahead to a big game against the USA. What can we expect from that game? What's the mood in camp? Talk to me.
Obviously, everyone's really positive. You can take a lot of confidence from scoring 6 goals in any game, but especially in the World Cup against, you know, an opposition that, you know, people will say, oh, it's only Iran, and on the day maybe they weren't as effective as they have been. But that's a lot of down to us as well, because of how we prepared against them and how we came out. You saw today, you know, there's no easy teams in this World Cup. You know, Argentina just lost with the best player of all time. So it's difficult. You have to be focused for every game, and we were, and that's why we got the good result. And yeah, we know that, you know, it means nothing just to win one game. We have to back it up now with a good performance and a good win against America, which will be another tough game. They've got very good quality. A lot of players now playing in Europe from their team. So yeah, it'll be a really good test, but that's why we're here, innit?
No doubt. Listen, hopefully it goes exactly the same way as the Iran game, no doubt. Now, on this show, we like to go back and you know what I mean, just add a little bit of spice and history to stuff, take you down memory lane. So I actually brought in someone on the line that you know very well. You spoke about your previous coaches. So we got the main man, Mike Dodds, on the phone. Yeah, we have. Yeah, we have. See, look, this is what we do. He's on the line on Lions Den. How are you, brother?
Very good. He disturbed me in Dubai, so I hope Jude appreciates this.
Where is he?
He's in Dubai. We're trying to get him here, but you know it's tough. So we wanted to get you on. Obviously, former Birmingham City academy manager, and obviously you know Jude very, very well. I want to know just from you, Jude, like what's this man done for your career?
It'd be easier to tell him if he wasn't on the screen, to be honest. I don't like making his head any bigger than it already is. But yeah, he's done everything for me, really. You know, he's developed me as a player and as a person since I was a kid, and he's kind of moulded the person I am today and the player that I am. And a lot of the reason why I play the way I do is because of him. So yeah, I'm very grateful for how he's been with me and how he's basically made me a player, innit?
Look at this. I'm going to tear up. You know what I mean? This is getting quite emotional.
Look at his smile. He's happy with that one.
Now, right, obviously watching Jude score in a World Cup, what was your reaction to that like?
I had a sneaky feeling he was going to score, if I'm completely honest. I'm over here with another team, and I said to one of the staff, I said, I think he's going to score. Just look, he breaks records everywhere he goes, whether he was at Birmingham City, like you said, at Dortmund. And it's just almost in his DNA a little bit. He just seems to keep breaking records. So, look, it was a good feeling. I'm not going to lie. You sat amongst Joe Public, in terms of you sat with people in the bar just watching the game. And it's just nice to be sat there amongst people who are saying obviously really nice things about a boy that I've known for the best part of 10 years.
No doubt. Now, and you said you've known him for 10 years. We're going to throw up a picture of you two together. I think when Jude, you was 12. So yeah, we might have done you in a little bit here. But what was he like as a 12-year-old kid when you first met him?
Has he gone?
Yeah, I think the connection might be a little bit dodgy. I know you're on the phone over there in Dubai. But what were your first memories, Jude, of working with Mike?
Just someone who he kind of accepted you for who you was and never tried to change you. I think that's the most important thing. I think the theme of like English football has been players with talent that kind of get moulded into a way that means that they don't express themselves how they want to be or are as free on the pitch as they want. But I think you can see the way I play is very free. I do things that feel natural, and that's because of how he made me feel as a kid. I come onto games and he'd say, how many nutmegs can you get? How many goals can you get? How many assists can you get? But it was always like a challenge that was healthy. It was never something that was restricting. And, he coached me in important areas when he needed to, but a lot of the time he made me feel really free. And, more importantly as a person. You know, he says how I should be with my teammates, how I should kind of interact with people, because that's how you kind of become a leader and stuff, and that all starts with him. So yeah, really grateful for what he's done for me.
No doubt. And also the number 22 is almost down to him. Can you tell the
Yeah,
story?
it is.
'Cause
So,
for
yeah,
the guys that maybe don't know.
It was obviously a meeting that he likes to claim this as well. I think that I had more impact than he says, but yeah, it was a meeting that we was having like as part of the learning objectives in the academy, and he was saying that, you know, I think you need to push yourself a bit more to be more complete. You know, I just wanted to play number 10, get the ball in high areas, score goals.
Superstar.
And then, basically, yeah. But he says that you have something in you where maybe you could be a bit more of a 4 where you break up play, and 8 where you go from box to box and keep the qualities that you have as a 10 and kind of mix it when you need to. He says if you play in that way, you're more likely to be kind of picked by teams and you can fit into teams more easily. And it ended up all being true. And so I kept the number 22 with me at Birmingham when I asked the kit man. Took it to Dortmund, obviously, and then I was lucky enough to get it here with the senior team.
Listen, we had to get you on today because it's the 22nd, number 22. You didn't even clock, so we're doing. It's like Inception over here in Lions Den. How important is it to have someone like that in your career? Because it seems to be something that's like, I guess, has moulded you into the person you are. And when you talk to the boys in camp, they all say like how much of a pleasure it is to have you in camp, and the fact that even at such a young age you've got almost like an old head on your shoulders.
I think in any walk of life it's important to be around people who support you and let you express yourself. I think all the lads could talk about people and players that they know that have kind of brought the same thing as Mike did to me, but for me, it's just all about kind of. I'm still a bit kind of surprised that you've got him on. To be honest, it's really nice to kind of hear from him in that way, because normally he's just battering me. So yeah, it's nice to hear from him.
No doubt. Now we got you back now. I was in the middle of asking you what was Jude like as that 12-year-old that you knew, and I know you've known him for over 10 years. So, what was his character like, and what did you think of him when you first met?
Look, he always wanted to be challenged. He was desperate to be the best at everything he turned his hand to, and if he wasn't challenged, he would let you know. Look, we had a really good relationship from quite a young age. I think we kind of connected, not just on a football level, but we have very similar types of personalities. I know that sounds strange that he was 12 or 13 at the time, but I think he recognised. Obviously, I was very serious. What an idiot! He recognised. Obviously, I was very serious about coaching and very serious about my job. Although I could have a laugh and a joke, and he was very similar in terms of work was work and pleasure was pleasure. He did really well at kind of separating the two in terms of, and that's the type of kid he is. You'll see him at home and you wouldn't see this kind of global superstar that he is or he's becoming. But when he steps on the pitch, he's a completely different kind of character and beast. But I can't speak highly enough of him. He's a very good footballer, a wonderful footballer. But he's an even better human being.
I'm going to start tearing up, man.
I know, this is a glowing reference.
It's getting emotional.
Only my reports were like this. It's outrageous. Now, Mike, I want to ask you, how far do you think Jude can go in his career? Because obviously at such a young age, you said he breaks records everywhere he goes. And how far can he go?
One of my favourite phrases, right, is that you never predict the future, but the best predicted future is what's happened in the past. And up to this point, every challenge that has been set in front of him, he's just kind of demolished every challenge that's put in front of him. Now, that's not to say that there will be challenges in the future that.
I think we've.
That was about to be great.
I know it was really, really.
Best.
I think we lost him there, but it was about to be absolutely special.
I think you can understand.
You can understand kind of the gist of where he was going with it, and I think with that kind of reference and with someone like that who you've known for a long time who's so important in kind of the development of your career from a young age, it's incredible to get those references, and you're getting them from former coaches and people that you know very well, and also the guys that you're playing with, and they can't speak highly enough of you. When they come in here, or when I speak to the boys in kind of all walks of life. So Absolute pleasure. You know what? That's a nice uplifting part of the show.
Felt good today now.
It's the Jude Bellingham show right now. And I know, do you know what? I was going to say, like, you can do it all. You've also been doing a bit of presenting as well. I see you on Dortmund channel, the channels doing presenting as well. I should be worried.
I know, yeah. I told you before I was coming for your job. So I think by 2024, the Euros, I think that'll be mine as well. So you're going to have to look for a new country, mate.
Yeah, you know what? You know, one of them ones, you've got to find heritage from somewhere else. You know, I'll do St. Kitts, you know, real small line. Don't come over that side, bro. I'll be absolutely fine. Now, you know, this show, we spoke about bringing the fans involved, and actually the fans have been sending in a few of their questions as well, and a few messages of support. So I want to read out a few. You know, EVH on Instagram has actually asked you, what inspired you to be a footballer?
My dad played a lot of football, like Saturday League, so obviously non-league football, and I used to go a lot to watch him play, and I just loved the atmosphere.
I heard he was a bagsman.
Yeah, tap-ins and that really, but yeah, I heard he was, obviously, I watched him play, and yeah, he scored a lot of goals, and I always liked the way he kind of made other people feel happy, and like I would sit in the stands and they'd always talk about this goal he scored, or that goal he scored, or that team he played for, that team he played against, and you know, that is nice to hear, you know, beyond the money and all that kind of rubbish. That's the feeling that I want from football. I want to win as much as possible and make people enjoy watching me, and hopefully I'm doing that.
No doubt. Now, Court at Madison has asked you, or Lions Den, what advice would you give your younger self who's just starting out playing football and learning the game?
Just keep smiling, really. Yeah. Keep smiling, keep listening. And keep trying to be better every day. I think that would be the three things. You know, when I go into football and I'm a bit tense, or I'm a bit angry, or I'm a bit kind of frustrated, I feel, you know, a little bit disconnected from the game sometimes. And you know, when I'm more happy, obviously there's a time to be serious and stuff, but you can always manage the two, I think. But when I'm more at peace and I'm more chilled, I think that's where you see a side of me that's just more free on the pitch. And keep listening. You know, obviously I had people around me like Mike, Christian Speakman, Carl Hooper, Steve Spooner, these guys from the Birmingham City Academy, and then all the coaches and managers I've had since. So yeah, these guys know what they're doing. They know how to make players, and yeah, I'd tell myself just to keep listening. And then I think lastly, what did I say about
keep smiling, keep listening, and always get better.
Always trying to get better. You know, challenge yourself every day to be a better football player. Do whatever it takes, whether it's in the gym, whether it's on the pitch, whether it's, you know, diet-wise, anything like that. Just try and do as much as possible to be as best as you can. Do
you know what? I feel like you could also get into motivational speaking, advice, consulting. I mean,
this is like my audition, isn't it, for like TV and...
We're going to cut this live now.
Yeah.
Leah, at Leah GS, has written, how does it feel to have a mural of yourself in your hometown?
When it first got revealed, to be honest, I felt like crying, to be honest. You know, I've got the one. I think there's quite a few now. The Stourbridge, where I was kind of born, and I was where I was for like the first part of my life. Was there's one there from the last camp actually, where I'm in like an England kit, and that one's special to me. But I think the one that's everyone talks about, and the one that I love the most, is the one at Birmingham next to Trevor Francis, because you know, when you go to a place so often, you like St Andrews, the Blue Stadium. You feel such a connection with the area, the people, you know, you get used to seeing the same faces, you get used to, you know, the smells and what you see and stuff like that. And, you know, I would have walked past that wall 100 times while there was nothing on it. And then now you know, I've not been back since, unfortunately. I've not had the chance while there's been a game. But to see, you know, every time Blues play, I'm getting tagged in pictures of, you know, kids standing in front of it saying, like, this is Jude Bellingham, this is... and that's the kind of feeling that I've always wanted from football, that kind of... you know, to inspire other people as well. And yeah, it means so much to me. I can't put into words really how much Blues means to me for how much they've done. And yeah, I've got to keep trying to do as well as I can to represent the people that have made me.
No doubt. Now, what does it mean to, I guess, hear those messages of support and comments from the fans back home?
It means a lot, you know. Like I said, when you're as far away as we are, you feel sometimes a little bit out of touch with everything going on. I don't want to be on my phone too much because people talk a lot, and you know, there's an element of wanting to disconnect as well and enjoy the time with my teammates. So yeah, it's not always for me about being on my phone, looking at Instagram, Twitter, because you go mad. And to hear those little clips without kind of seeing it on Instagram on my phone is nice, because you know there's people there that are supporting you, and yeah, it always feels nice when people say nice things, of course.
No doubt. Now, we've heard those questions online, but now we're actually going to go and speak to some fans. So this part of the show is called Fans Ask Questions. So we've got some fans with us today here on Lions Den. What is happening, guys? We good?
Yeah.
All good.
Hi, you all right?
All good, excellent. Now, I want to ask Jack from Bristol first up. What's your question for Jude? And I know you've got a good one because I'm actually interested to hear the answer to this one.
Yeah, hi Jude. I just want to say congrats to you and the team yesterday. You were so good, and just hope that's the start for the rest of the tournament, really. Anyway, just wanted to say, out of all the players that you've played against in your career so far, can you pick a five-a-side team based on all of them?
Oh, that's such
It's
a good
tough because
question,
you played at the top level, Bryce.
Oh,
You're going to annoy some
that's
people.
That's a really nice question, that. I'm not playing with a goalie.
Wow, you doing monkey rush?
No, I ain't playing with a goalie,
Yeah,
Rush goalie.
it's ultra attacking.
De Bruyne,
Good
easily, so good, man. To be fair, it's hard on the spot. But yeah, De Bruyne, I played against, obviously, in the Champions League. Kimmich, really good player. I think what other teams, actually. You kind of got me on the spot now, it's tough. To be fair, I could probably just make a City team, couldn't I? Or a Bayern mix. Thomas Muller, let's say. Yeah.
Surely you've got to be Haaland up top.
Is it? Oh yeah, Haaland. Obviously, I played against him now. I keep thinking that we're still on the same team. Quite sad, honestly.
Wishing.
I'm trying to think. Obviously, I've played against so many top teams, but I can't remember some of the players.
You've got Kimmich, De Bruyne, Haaland up top. You've got to be in there, bro.
Nah. If it's against, I'll say someone like Nkunku, to be honest. Nkunku.
Yeah.
Bagsman probably would be good at five-a-side. If I had more time to think about it, I might give you a different team, but off the top of my head, I'd go with them five. It's elite players.
Elite players. I mean, you've just rattled off some absolutely huge names.
Yeah. But
So
that's a great question, though, man.
Jack,
Proper to think about.
You know what we'll do? After the show, we're going to get him to write down. We're going to get a proper. We'll spend like 15 minutes writing it down, and
I'll put one together for you.
We'll let you know in the next show. But that is an unbelievable team that you picked. Now we've got Kimberly and Katie in Stoke-on-Trent here as well. What's your question?
Our question is, do you have a pre-match ritual, and if so, what is it?
Interesting.
I'm not really
superstitious,
superstitious, to be honest. I feel like, if you're superstitious and then, like, for example, something goes wrong or a little detail goes wrong, you get too in your head. Do you know what I mean? I think one thing is, like, I wear studs, like studded boots.
No matter what the surface?
Yeah. We always play on grass, so it would always, obviously, if I played on Astro, I'd wear moulds, but we always play on grass, and even if it's still a bit dry, I never risk it because I always, in the back of my mind, it's like if I slip, it's because of that. I've slipped in studs before, but you get in your own head, don't you? So I'd probably say always playing in studs. But other than that, I don't really have no rituals, to be honest. But yeah, maybe I need to.
Pre-match meal. Go on, hit me with a pre-match meal.
Pre-match meal is normally just like pesto pasta, to be honest. Yeah. And a bit of cheese, so yeah.
Not like Dex, sea bass and rice is going real
Yeah,
flary,
I know some of them go like really kind of exotic and that, but nah, pesto pasta.
Pesto pasta. All right, great question.
Thank you, good question.
We've got Robert in London. Robert, what? Oh, you're wearing a Dortmund top?
Wearing a Dortmund kit as well, man. What a boy. Good man.
Obviously, great performance yesterday. Being a big Dortmund fan and England fan is great to see. So my question to you is, if you could play with any two English players in English history, who would you want to play with?
Oh, such a top question. Three really good questions.
You get to play with this man right here. We're going to introduce him in a sec.
I already get to play with him, so I ain't saying it. But probably Stevie G.
Yeah, frightening.
Gerrard. Is it only two, did he say?
Only two, bro.
Man. Rooney.
Gerrard and Rooney. Yeah. Unbelievable mix. Rob, that's a class question and a class answer. Thanks so much.
Cheers.
Appreciate you coming on the show. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Now, it's unbelievable. The stars don't stop rolling in. We're lucky. We're getting a 2-for-1 deal here on Lions Den because the main man, Marcus Rashford's in the building. Can we get a round of applause for the studio here? There we go. What's happening, big dog?
Not bro. Good.
Marcus, listen, you two, goal scorers, yeah? Is that what we're doing? 3 touches?
Yeah, it's obviously, it's nice for us to be playing in the World Cup and to score is just, added bonus. But yeah, I'm obviously really happy that we managed to get the win. We've seen some really good teams today not pick up 3 points, so it's good to start off on the right foot.
You know what, we've been here for a while now. How are you settling in? You spending much time with this guy here? Because I feel like everyone says that he's the most just focused. You're like organised. He's like the dad of the group, and he's like the youngest of the group.
I don't know who's told you that. There's a lot of lying going on in this show.
No, to be fair, he is really mature, and I think for me it shows in his performances. He don't really put a foot wrong, and he was here, there, and everywhere yesterday. So he's been playing a bit of cards, though.
Yeah. Oh.
Nah, no cards.
Actually, tell me that. See, this is it. We're getting the exclusive. Is he any good? Is he? Get the mic
tell
right
him
out
what
here
we
and
play.
tell us. Is he any good?
We play a game called Wolf. He actually is really good.
Yeah.
He gets voted as
Is he a
team
good liar?
captain.
Because if you don't know Wolf, get to know Wolf, because it's a very intense game of strategy, and you got to pretend you got to lie and say you're not someone. So Jude, what's going on? I thought you were a straight up good guy.
Nah, when I need to lie, I can. No, that's not bad. I ain't a liar. But
no. In the game,
I can lie pretty well. But to be fair, I'm never normally the wolf, am I? So I'm always like. But he was the wolf the other day, and he done well with Madders and Trent in it. So yeah, Rashi's good as well. But I'm always kind of suspicious of Rashi. He sits next to me, and I look at him like this, and he can never look me in the eye. You're
one of them ones where if you're the wolf,
bro, even if he's the villager, he's like this. I'll be like, Rashi, you good? He's like, yeah, man, yeah, I'm cool.
I've heard a rumour that Mason Mount crumbles under pressure of Wolf. He's not the best at lying.
No.
He says it on his face like, I'm the wolf.
He went this colour the other day. Swear to God.
Rashford, we need to hear what you got to say. You got some interesting things. Bring up the mic. Make sure it's nice and close. Yeah, talk down here, bro. How good does it feel, bro, to come on and with the first 3 touches score and have so many of the boys, I guess, around, and you can see there's such a team mentality. The celebrations, it's just everyone's involved.
Yeah, 100%. When you're on the bench, of course it's disappointing. But at the end of the day, you have to come on and try and make an impact. And the lads was excited, and seeing the boys enjoy themselves in the first half, it makes you want to get involved and try and add to the game. We're obviously disappointed that we conceded a couple of goals, but I think
when you score 6, it's all right.
Yeah, overall it's a nice first game.
Now, at the Euros, basketball was the main focus, yeah? There's basketball over there, there's darts. Who's the king of basketball? Because I know you're giving yourself... I heard you're the Rondo king as well.
Listen, do you know who's improved?
Who?
Deck.
Has Deck been practicing?
2 days in a row he's won.
Yeah, mate.
And there was a lot of improvement to be made.
Yeah, there was.
There was a lot of improvement to be made. There's obviously the viral clip of Grillo just, obviously not having... There's no Steph Curry in it. Has he got any better?
Nah. He don't play that much, to be fair.
All right, you know what? We'll allow him. Are you ready for some darts? How's your dart skills? We've spoken about a few sports.
I didn't know he was playing darts.
You might not have to play, but I might need a little commentary. I might need a co-commentator over there.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'll tell.
All right, okay. Well, this is how it works. Guys. What we have to do is we have to play Sharpshooter. And there's something spooky going on in the air. Jude, there's been 3 66s. Raz kind of messed up the vibe with his 31. Okay, but let me...
66?
I know. Let me and my previous self explain the rules, and I'll tell these boys on the way over. The rules are simple. Players will have unlimited darts to hit as many of the targets as they can within 30 seconds. Each target has a different amount of points up for grabs, but once a target's been hit, either on the outer ring or the inner circle, the player must move on to another and can't return to a target in an attempt to rack up more points. A massive 100 points is up for grabs if a player manages to hit all of the inner circles, but only if they dare go for glory and attempt the golden target. This target's high risk though, because if a dart hits the keeper, the player will go from 0 to 0 and lose all of their points. Who'll go for gold and who'll throw it all away? Let's play Sharpshooters.
The rules.
This is Sharpshooters, and I'm going to have to explain the rules to Jude because he was having a Balotelli moment with the man bag.
Sorry.
Marcus was distracting him, but don't worry. Basically, Jude, let me explain to you how it works, okay? you got 30 seconds and unlimited darts, okay, to get the highest possible score here at Sharpshooter, okay? The maximum score you can possibly get is 100. That's if you hit every inner circle. But remember, you can only hit the same target once. So if you hit this and you get the 1, you can't go back and try and get the 5, okay? You've got to make your way across the board in any order you want. Go for the 40, go for gold, go for glory.
Yeah, cool.
But if you hit the keeper's arm, you are back to 0 and the game's done.
Oh, that's madness.
That is madness, exactly. This is Sharpshooter, right?
How far am I going from?
Give me your skills at dart level on a scale of 1 to 10.
3.
3, okay.
3
It
yards.
doesn't matter, the line goes in the same place
Oh,
every
really?
single time.
That's far, you know.
It's about 10 yards. You're all right. Whoa. You know when we said you're a good liar and wolf? Is this what's happening with the free kicks?
Remember last time with the basketball?
Yeah,
So just shake it off.
shake it.
That'd be a new gift now.
All right, okay. Jude.
Wait, which way? Oh, like this. Bro, I'm
Jude,
nervous, you know,
on my mind. Don't get nervous, bro. Like, you know when last time you get nervous, shake it out, get the clever. Yeah, under pressure. But that's what, you can't not beat Raheem Sterling, okay? Raz, I'm sorry. Your 30 seconds starts in 3, 2, 1. Oh, you know when you said you were bad at darts? We might have to move. We have to move it. Here we go. Yeah,
Oh
Jude, don't worry about this, bro.
Watch out.
Yeah, don't worry. There we go. Oh, straight in the 40. Okay, now you can go for every other target.
I played
Good,
you.
in the 1. Perfect. Don't worry. This is all good. You got 20 seconds. Okay, in the 5. This could be a very, very good score. All right, in the 1. That's all right. That's good. That's good. Oh, in the 10, Jude. I think I might have made it too close. The boys are going to be angry with me. All right. You're done.
No, I've got one more.
To go. Oh, no, you can go 5. Now the time's done.
I've won it.
Wow. That's actually outrageous, but we're going to have to talk about the fact that as soon as I put it closer, you became Phil the Power Taylor.
That's the game, innit? That's the game. I took an opportunity and I've won.
Jude, come and have a look at these darts, okay? Because I want to shout out, this was very special and very brave. Okay?
That's what I do, man.
So let's count them up. Start with a 40, 45, 55, 65, 75, 76, 77. 77 points
Thank you,
in
sir.
Sharpshooter. That is the top of the leaderboard. What we won't do is show the boys the videos because they're not going to be too happy. Yeah. And here we go. Jude, I can very happily put you up here with a fantastic score of 77 points. Welcome to the top of the leaderboard. Was there anyone on this board that you were a little bit worried about?
No, absolutely not.
That was the tone has changed completely since.
Crazy what a yard can do, innit?
It's true. All you need is that little yard, that spare yard, and you can do something very, very special.
What's in with that, you know?
I've got to say that is absolutely incredible.
Go show
you know what?
off when I get
For
back.
being top of the leaderboard, everyone who comes on the show gets a Lions Den gift. So actually, my wonderful assistant is going to come in more aggressively every single time. Jude, you get your very own Lions Den with M&S food bum bag. You can take that to training. You can put all your stuff in there. You know what I mean? Probably won't fit your boots, but
Appreciate that a lot. Thank you very much.
It's all good. Sensational, bro. I'm actually very, very proud of you right there. Now, guys, listen, we are going to be back tomorrow. That was Lions Den with M&S Food. We are live on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, okay? We're live everywhere on all of your favourite channels. It's been special. Jude, my man, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And listen, we're going to need a little question from you, okay? We're going to come to you after the show. We need a little question for our next guest. It's a secret. Don't worry, guys. We'll see you next time.